Will is the key. Willpower. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. I don't know much as you do, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody in here is more learned than I, much more of a scholar than I. But I know about coming back from seemingly unsurmountable odds. I know about coming back from when doctors tell you that you can't or that you shouldn't. Now, sir, because of your diagnosis, and don't do a damn thing. Bullshit. Hell no. Every time I go to the doctor, they tell me what I shouldn't be doing, and what I should be doing, and what I won't do, and what I can't do. And I politely go out the door and do whatever the fuck I want to do. And I'm gonna do that until they throw dirt on top of me. This is my life. And I choose to live it the way I want to live it. I won't let you decide how I live this life. I don't care how long or short it is. It's mine, motherfucker. And I'm gonna use it how I see fit. What motivates you? Your story motivates me. Your story motivates me. The stories of extreme will. People that came through something or circumstances that they were not supposed to go through. You just ain't supposed to be able to do it. But he did it any goddamn way. It is impossible until some crazy son of a bitch has the audacity to believe that no matter what the expert or the doctor says, I can still do that shit. And if you don't believe it, just sit your ass down over there and watch me do it. How do you teach people to not look at something and say immediately, because the appearance, I can't do it, I give up, before they even attempt it? Oh, that's overtraining. Simply because it sounds like more than I ever done before. I can't do that. I won't even try. I won't even try. I give up before I even try. No. Oh, I tried, but I fell short. I tried my best, but I fell short. Is there victory in that? Goddamn right it is.
So I totally planned to take a nap. Brushing my teeth and had a thought. I'm like, okay, I think this is the perfect time to do a video discussing my fall adventure. Okay, so the goal this fall was exploring what love meant and determining the difference between my states of love in a manic state and love from a non-manic perception. Just understanding what real love was. Trying to determine the difference between loving someone in a manic state, which was 40 years of my life, and determining what love felt like, the emotion love felt like from a non-manic state. Is there a difference? Can what I've experienced in my life, love from a manic state, can I depend on that to be real love? Can I? I don't know. Because no one's giving me any fucking answers, so I had to dive in and try to learn it myself. So last time was, my ex is gonna kill me for doing these fucking videos, but if you're watching these, honey, baby, it's the last one, I promise. Yeah, so I haven't loved anyone since her, right? Seven years ago. It's been 7, 8 years now. So I need to understand what that was. The woman before that, that wasn't love. That was about being real, going into a relationship with realistic intentions. It was about loyalty. There was no passion. There was no love. Well, that would be another form of love, I guess. You know, that's the thing. Love. You get friendship, love. Receive love from friendship. Love from spouses and girlfriends. You receive love from your parents. It's all this weird. You know, I would be a lot happier if we only use love when we meant it in a passionate, loving way that'll die for you type thing, right? Anything else, we should just say, I care for you. There should be a care for you emoji, not a fucking heart. Anyways, I got off track, okay? Yes, so, when I tried to reconcile with my ex and didn't seem like there was going to be any way forward with that, I said, okay, fine, I accept that. You know, I understand that. You know, I was fine with that. I was totally fine. I understood that it was hard for her. You know, you can't force someone to love you. But what I didn't understand is, well, why do I still have all these feelings 7 years later? And I did a video exploring that. So I put that at bay. It's okay, well, come the fall, when the gym's open, I'm going to start exploring this. And I talked a few videos about, I did some dating, and then that's when we noticed the perception shifts. Like, what the fuck? You know, I'm feeling all this intense emotion for this person from a manic standpoint. Is it real? Obviously, I'm not seeing things that she's seeing. You know, lying to myself in this state. I'm not looking at this for what it is. I'm trying to see something more. And then next thing you know, I'm looking at it from another perception. Okay, now I don't no longer feel this emotion for this person, but I'm feeling this other thing. And I'm looking at her a different way. I got really fucking confused. But at the same time, it kind of felt familiar. So I'm thinking, okay, well, is this what happened 7 years ago when I was with my ex? Was I going through these perception shifts with her? And how can I take any of my feelings for, if they're real or not? Like, how do I fucking box this, man? Like, you know, I gotta understand the way these emotions with a person being bipolar works, like, because this can land me in some serious trouble. And like I always knew that I wasn't ready for a relationship because I didn't understand the bipolar, so I wasn't sure. That's why I stayed single so long, because I wasn't sure what happened with us. Like, I know why it ended, but I didn't understand my perception of the whole thing and how that could affect somebody else. So I had no business getting in a fucking relationship. That would have been pretty shitty of me and irresponsible of me to do. But I needed to understand how these emotions were working. and what was real. What could I count on to be real love, and dismiss what could be what could be just this delusional fascination. What needs do I need? Like, it was a lot to unpack. So I dated a few people I knew, learned some stuff, but I didn't get quite the answers that I needed. So what did what did I do? This is the mind. This is what happens when you're bipolar. You go through any lengths to try to recreate what you're trying to understand. So I started to date a black girl. Why? Because my ex was black. And hoping and dating her, like, I didn't plan on it, it was kind of a weird thing. I think my manic mind decided it was a good idea, but when I was into the shit, I was like, holy fuck, Scotty, you're dating a black girl now just to find out what the fuck is, trying to understand your past, I'm like, Jesus Christ. But, the short time we were together, I fucking learned so much, and I understood so much on how this perception shifts was happening, and why I was feeling what I was feeling, and I could differentiate between manic love and real love and genuine feelings. Looking at someone from a delusional state, and looking at them from a realistic state, and so I learned a lot from her, and I actually called her up on New Year's, wished her a happy New Year, and she was kind of surprised, I think, but I just said, a short time we were together, I just wanted to thank you, I didn't get into it with her, but, she was kind of aware of my fucked upness. But, it was definitely a turning point. So now, after I started seeing her, and I stopped seeing her, I was left with this. Okay. So now you know the difference between feelings from a state of reality and feelings from a state of delusion. Jesus Christ, I hate talking about this shit. I sound fucking crazy. So now I could see the difference. I now know there's a difference. And I know this massive list of things I need out of a relationship. That would make it work. I know where I was lying to myself, where I wasn't. But now I'm left with this question, okay? My ex, I was with her for 6 or 7 years, and most of that was just, I was all manic, right? With periods of lows because I was using cocaine, right? I don't see this is hard because honestly I don't believe the love I felt for her was delusional. I really, really don't. And I'm trying to be fucking real honest with myself. Yeah. I think if you we had so many distractions, so it's hard to remember everything so clearly. But at the end of the day, what I'm left with is I still feel this. She is such a part of me in so many ways, and I can only determine that must have been real, right? Because like I said, when I dated in the fall, these women, sure, I had these intense emotions for them, but sitting here right now in January, I look back at the time I spent with them. I don't have this. There's nothing here. Like, yeah, we had fun, or I learned some stuff, but there's not this, this love, this intense emotion that still lingers, right? So what happened with my ex 7 years ago. Must be real, right? Even though I was in a manic state for the length of the relationship. So I said, well, okay, well, so, all right, I don't know if I should tell you guys this next part. But I needed confirmation. I needed confirmation on this. Okay, so I mentioned a few times to you guys, there's been a woman in my life that I pay for her time. Okay? And on the majority of that time we spent together, I didn't get delusional about what we had. We have a great business relationship. There's definitely a trust there. But I wouldn't let my manic delusions imagine that it was anything more than it was. Okay? So this is what I did. Oh, fuck. I can't believe, well, I understand why I did it. Because I need to learn it. I need to understand this. And this is why I mentioned when I was talking in my other videos how it cost me a lot of money to learn this process. This is where it got really expensive. So what I did was I allowed myself, so I kept seeing her. And I allowed myself to explore my emotions with her. Because I've known her for so long. So it was really easy. It was really easy for me to open the door emotions with her. Yeah, and long story short, the emotions got carried away for sure. She was great through the whole thing, She definitely humored me, and she was great. She was great during all of that. I think there was some times where I think things got difficult for her. But this is nothing we haven't discussed before. So I wanted to know if there was a difference. Because I did care for her, but did it venture into this world of love that I felt from my ex? Like, I understand you always love someone differently, but for me was, I want to know what's delusional love and what is real love. Like, I needed to feel the difference. And so through this time I spent with her and a lot of that, long story short, I left that business arrangement with the knowledge of, yes, now I understand the difference between my manic mind love and real love. And what I felt from my ex was real. It was real. Because I found myself, I knew where I was lying to myself with this friend of mine that I was paying. I knew what areas I was saying, okay, well, no, I can get past that. I can get her to, let's just say, I knew where I was lying to myself and being delusional with her. Sure, the feelings were strong, but it was, and they are real. You can't deny they're real. But they fade. Oh, fuck, I feel like a fucking teenager here talking about puppy love, but it's such a different thing. And I know it's a different thing. But anyway, so that's what happened this fall. And it was real hard. I almost brainwashed myself into, because I was such a bad, I won't call her a husband because I don't think I deserve that. But I really fell short on giving the love that she needed, and I kind of brainwashed myself. And any time that, maybe brainwashed myself a little too much, that if I ever got into another relationship, that would never happen again. That I would be all in. You know, give her what she needs, get her what she wants, and just fucking, and abandon everything. And that's the other thing I learned is just like I can't compartmentalize a relationship at all. It's like once I'm in, I'm fucking all in now. I'm like, okay, are you going to one extreme to the next, pal? So that's one thing I learned too, right? That's one thing I learned too. I learned a lot about courtship, and the biggest thing that I've learned, and the thing that I'm going to accept and move forward with, so I don't have to go through this bullshit again, is forcing something. If life, I believe in the balance of things. I don't try to explain it, I just accept. So, one thing I've learned is I'm not going to force a relationship or force trying to meet somebody. If life decides to give it to me, then life will give it to me. And I'm going to move forward with that attitude. I'll plan my life with that in mind. I'm going to plan it without somebody. And I'm going to try and take steps to fulfill my life without somebody. And if it does ever knock on my door, hopefully these videos I can look back on, and hopefully I can retain a lot of the information that I've learned this fall. That's one thing about when you date a lot and you have lots of relationships and you go through all this stuff. You get a pretty fucking good bead on things, right? You know yourself, you know how you feel, where you lie to yourself. Well, I had to learn all this shit in a very short amount of time, because I knew I only had that window to do this with. I'm not 20, I don't have all the time in the world, so I only knew I had the fall. I only had the money saved up and things, the way things lined up to do this and during this window, and that was it. After that, okay, you got to go for your wants now. Time's run out. Now you got to start concentrating on other things. But that was the biggest thing. I had to make that determination. But I tell you, there's times. That's just, and I know why I think this. It's just a bipolar thing. I can look back at it and with one perception, and I can look back at it with another perception with her. But at the end of the day, the original feeling keeps coming to the surface, right? And I find it very strange that I don't know why. I don't fucking have the answers. Why I'm feeling this 7 years later, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to even explain that. I had my theories about trauma and not opening the door with that, maybe guilt or for whatever reason that I didn't want to deal with that. So yeah. So that's what happened this fall. If you were curious. Yeah, it was a tough fall. It was tough. It was a lot to sort through. Fuck, did I go over everything? Well, so I guess maybe one question remains. If love ever does find its way to my door again, it's going to be very interesting to see what type of love it's going to be this time around, right? I think it's safe to say anything under 30 years old. Well, I guess it would have to depend on your life experience to say, well, for me, I would say anything under 30 years old was like kind of a puppy love thing, right? You don't know what the fuck's going on. your brain's just almost, your brain just developed 5 years prior. So, you know, I think moving on from my 30s. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? Yeah. I don't remember. So it's going to be really interesting to see what type of love knocks on my door next. Because they've definitely been different throughout my 30s, right? It's definitely the most challenging thing I've faced, through all of this, to understand and unpack and compartmentalize, put in these boxes, do the check marks, that's been real tough. Real tough. And just in the last, month that I haven't thought about this, I've just kind of focused on getting back in my routine, going back in my bubble. It's definitely a lot less stressful, I'll tell you that. I couldn't continue exploring that, It was getting pretty dicey at the end, There was, yeah. That was tough. That was real fucking tough. But I always know how to make it way back, and I know how to be disciplined throughout that, Even though I spent a lot of money and did some stuff, I always maintained my discipline, and fuck up my job. I didn't overextend myself, so, which is all good things because, 5 years ago, there's no way I would have been able to have been that disciplined throughout that process. I would have totally went off the rails at some point and did something stupid, for sure. So I come out the other side with some knowledge, some life experience, that'll hopefully benefit me from the years to come. I tell you, there's things in life where there's mistakes we make in life that are pretty tough to rebound from, and one of them is definitely a bad relationship. I wouldn't consider my ex as a bad relationship, but there's people out there with some fucking horror stories. They've had kids with the wrong person. Domestic violence. So I can still consider myself very fortunate. Sure, the amount of money I've spent from the day we split up till now, just exploring my mental health and trying to get well, the amount of money I spent is just astronomical, but at the end of the day, I still came out pretty good, right? I'm alive, I'm in a good spot, healthy for the most part, mentally and body, right? Have a pretty good bead on what's happening in my head, and pretty good direction on what to move forward with. So I really don't have anything to complain about, But I tell you, I think that's the most challenging things that a person will ever face is dealing with love of another, Maybe they're passed on, they die, you're supposed to die, get sick, fuck. I did a video talking about it, it's like, Jesus Christ, is it worth it? Is it worth attaching to yourself to another? Is it worth it? There's all these negatives. There's all these negatives, Yeah. Like, I know how I felt like 7 years later about her. I couldn't even imagine if she got sick or she died or something, man, like, while we were together. That would have I couldn't even imagine that kind of pain, But it's like, it's a realistic deterrent. Can you imagine finding someone who's made for you and then trying to rationalize and process them dying on you? You know, fuck, fuck. Like I don't know how it is for other people, but letting her go from my heart, sure, that was a challenge. That was a challenge, and it still is a challenge. But that'll fade in time. I know that. But what's really hard is when you're with someone a long time, they almost become a part of you, right? You find yourself, I still find myself using phrases that I've used with her, or that things that she said. I'll give you an example. Like my owner's got the Australian Shepherd. You guys must have seen pictures of it. And my ex used to talk to the dog. She goes, "Who loves the babies? Who loves the babies?" You know, she would say that. I find myself saying the same things to this dog, Naya, right? Things like that. So it's those Enchronicities that you those things you pick up from your spouse over the years that they kind of ingrained in your personality and they just become a part of you. It's got nothing to do with emotion. It's just interacting with that person every day, every day, every day. So it's almost like yeah, it's just fuck it. You almost have to change. I think you guys know what I mean. It's just eluding me right now what to say about that, but yeah, and why that is still with me after so long is very strange. But I deal with it and I accept it for what it is, and I tell myself, okay, well, let's move forward. Time heals all type thing, right? Yeah, it's fascinating though how because I've had to make so many adjustments, like from my personality, the way I talk, my outlook, so many things that I had to be conscious of and catch myself in the moment and say, no, change that, change that. And but when it comes to controlling your emotion and controlling how someone impacting your life in every day, it's a different thing, eh? And I talked about that in one of my videos. Letting someone go from your heart is different. Some letting go of some of your mind. So, anyways, chirping away for a half an hour here. So that's what happened with me in the fall. In case some of you guys are wondering. Kind of a what's kind of a summary. No, I still haven't talked to the ex. Yes, my relationship with my friend that I paid is still good. We're just friends. There's nothing. There's no contact. I don't think there ever will be again. But but that's something else too. Yeah, well, let's get into that. And that's something I needed to learn as well too, because after all, I'm a man. I'm human. I have needs. So that was the other thing. Seeing her, I needed to ask myself: is there a place for her in my life? Can we? Is there a way to set it up that my needs are met? Is something that I'm trying to think about. Is some way that is there some kind of arrangement that can be made with her, or it might be too late with her. Maybe I'll have to go with someone else. But is there an arrangement I can have with her that that I can live with? So I'm not distracted. And maybe I doubt if it happened, but it's always a danger, right? You don't want to end up being with the wrong person, right? And that's I mentioned that before. That's a very realistic danger with myself being bipolar is, and it's been I've had to exercise extreme discipline in this area. Is making sure that I don't enter a relationship under that state of mind, right? And wake up one day and like, what the fuck are you doing, right? So, so I may see her again. Maybe explore. Is there something? Is there some kind of thing I can live with to give balance and fulfillment to my life? Maybe there is. I don't know. But right now, no, there isn't. Because I know now it's like I can't see her without caring for her and having emotion. But the thing is, it's at the point where well, I'm gonna need that in return. So there's no point in me paying if you can't get what you want, right? So we'll see how that goes. But honestly, I don't see a way that can work. I really don't. Drugs or no drugs, it doesn't. I can't see how that would work and how I'd get fulfillment out of it. But I had to go through all of this fall to learn and understand all that. You can't. No one can tell you shit, right? People can give you advice. Oh, Scotty, you should do this, and Scotty, you should do that, or Scotty, this happens everywhere. That's the thing about advice. And I hate getting advice because advice doesn't. Unless you fucking in there learning it and experiencing it, you can't relate to what the person's fucking talking about. Like I could do what you're saying. I could take your advice and try this and try that. But there's nothing like you want to have some experience behind that, pushing that forward, right? I hate being dictated to, and it's a weird thing, I think that's probably where God came from, I don't need a fucking book. I don't need anyone telling me how to be a good fucking person and and how to live a morally responsible life so I think that's it. I've always had a problem being dictated to. Now, if I experience something and I'm asking advice about that what I've experienced, that's a different thing. I don't even know if that made sense or not, but whatever. Okay, all right, let's end this fucking video. God, am I even gonna post this? I'll have to wait till I'm in the right mood to post this one because this will be a tough one to post. Anyways, till I see you guys again. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. God bless you all.